And we are live. What's up, guys? Nick here, P2W Fantasy Podcast. We got a short video today going over some underdog picks for this wild card weekend. And I'm going through the two Saturday games today and some of the pick'ems picks that I like on the Underdog Fantasy app to put some money down, make these games interesting. So if you are tuning in, stick with me. I have a series of over or under bets for both games today. Let's get it.
To win, no fear to give. I feel, but I can't forgive. I go all in this time, yeah, I won't regret. I'll pick the best on trip, they don't understand. I play to win, yeah, I play to win. I play to win, yeah, I play to win. I play to win, oh, play to win. I play to win, yeah, I play to win. I play to win.
All right, so thank you for joining me. What we got going on today is I have some underdog picks for today's game. So pick them. So what happens is you get a list of players and you select the over or unders of different stats. And depending how many you select and you put your buy-in down, that's how much money you can make. So you can pick one guy from each team for a certain game, or you can have a series of guys. So I have 4 different player bets for each of today's games. We have 2 games today. We have the Raiders versus the Bengals, and then we have the Patriots versus the Bills tonight. So I have 4 from each game. If you like 2 of them, then you can just use those 2. If you like 3, you can use those 3. So we'll go over that in a second. If you do not have an Underdog account, you can go to the App Store or you can go to underdog.com. Use the promo code P2W Fantasy. If you put down $10, you get $10 back. So you get that instant deposit matchup. So again, promo code P2W Fantasy, all put down together. So we'll start with the Raiders versus the Bengals game for today. And the first bet that I have down for this game, so I'm going to say Josh Jacobs above 19.5 receiving yards for this game. So when it comes to Josh Jacobs, they do have Jalen Richard and Peyton Barber, who they use a little bit, but neither one of those guys is significantly out-targeting or out-catching Josh Jacobs in this offense. From weeks 9 through 18, Jacobs had 6 of his 10 games with 4+ catches. 6 of those 10 games have been above 19.5 receiving yards. So he's actually been used pretty well in the passing game in comparison to when Kenyon Drake was healthy and when Gruden was in the system. So the fact that both of those guys are out, Jacobs has had nice pass catching days. So I like him above 19.5 receiving yards for this game. Next one on the list, I'm going to go Hunter Renfro. Under 5.5 receptions. And Hunter Renfro, all credit due to him, has been really good this year, but he's been under this 5.5 receiving mark in his last 4 out of 5 games. Zay Jones, on the other hand, has received 8+ targets across the last 4 games. Darren Waller is also back. So the fact that Zay Jones is getting pretty highly involved in this offense, and now we have Waller in the system as well, I think Hunter Renfro could catch 4 or 5 passes today, maybe, but I'm going to go under 5.5. So I'm going to say he's not going to catch 6 or more passes in this game. Next on the list, Joe Burrow. I'm going to go under 0.5 interception. So I'm basically saying Joe Burrow is not going to throw an interception today. And the reason being, since the bye week, 5 of his 7 games, Joe Burrow has not thrown an interception. So he's been pretty efficient in the passing game. What I like about Joe Burrow as well is that his completion percentage has been pretty solid during this 7-game stretch as well. He's only had 1 game across his last 7 under 68% for his completion percentage. So he's throwing the ball very well. He's very efficient right now. I don't see him throwing a pick in this game today. Last one on the list, Tyler Boyd. Little maybe controversial because the Raiders have been decent against slot receivers, but I'm going to say Tyler Boyd above 42.5 receiving yards. So the Raiders do have a young, solid slot corner, but the last time Tyler Boyd played the Raiders, he had 49 receiving yards. So again, that was above 42.5, which is our mark here. 5 of Boyd's 7 last games have been above 42.5 receiving yards. So he's actually been getting decent targets, even though he's the de facto third receiver in this offense. I'm going to say he's going to go above that 42.5 receiving mark, which at the end of the day is a pretty modest mark. So 4 picks for the Raiders versus Bengals games. Again, if you like 2 of them, 1 from each team, you can put money down on that. If you like all 4, I think $5 would get you a $50 payout. So you can modify it as you see fit. We'll move over to the Bills versus the Patriots game now. Starting off with Mack Jones. So another interception bet, but I'm going to go the opposite here. I'm going to say Mack Jones above 0.5 interceptions in this game. So not super high on Mack Jones in this Bills matchup. The last 4 games, Mack Jones has thrown an interception in 3 of them. He's had 6 total interceptions in his last 4 games. So he's turning over the ball a ton as of late. The Bills have the 5th most interceptions in the league, and they are the only team in the NFL that has given up under 3,000 passing yards. So this is a very, very tough passing defense for 1. And for 2, Mack Jones has been turning over the ball. So I'm going to say today there's a high chance that he might do the same in this matchup. Next one on my list here, Jacoby Myers. I'm going to say under 47.5 receiving yards. And you look at Jacoby Myers, and he's had 70-plus receiving yards in his last 2 games. But one factor we have to talk about is that he's questionable for this game, as is with a thigh injury. The Bills, like we've talked about before, are a very tough passing defense. And Myers has been under this 47.5 receiving mark in 8 games this year. So we've seen plenty of games where he doesn't hit the 50-yard mark across this season. I mean, the guy handles a ton of volume at times when they are passing the ball a lot, but the fact that he is injured right now to an extent, the fact that the Bills are a tough passing defense, and the fact that Jacoby Myers has already been under this mark 8 times this season, I'm not optimistic about him being over this mark in today's game. Other side of the ball, Josh Allen. I'm going to say above 292.5 total yards. So this is the key word right here, total. So that means passing and rushing. And when we have a quarterback that can run very well like Josh Allen, this is a big bonus for him. Total, again, is the key here, passing plus rushing. 63-plus rushing yards in his last 3 games in a row. The ceiling, 109 week 14. I mean, the guy can really put the yardage up on the ground. The last time they played the Patriots, the Bills, he had 314 passing yards. He's had 6 games above 300 passing yards this season. So now if we add the rushing bonus for him to get above 292.5, I like today. And I like the chance that he is going to be a huge reason why the Bills get this win, if they do, in this game today. Second mark here, and you'd say, well, if Josh Allen has a big day, maybe Devin Singletary won't. But I really like Devin Singletary and what he's done lately. So I'm going to say Devin Singletary above 62.5 rushing yards. So 3 out of 4 of his last games, he's rushed for 86, 88, and 110 rushing yards. So those are above that 62.5 rushing mark by 20 plus, if not more. In these 3 games mentioned, he's had 19 plus carries. So 3 out of 4 of his last games, he's had 19 plus carries. He is Buffalo's guy right now, and it's not very close. 4 of his 5 last games, he's ranged from 76 to 93% of the snaps. So again, 76 to 93% of the snaps in 4 out of 5 of his last games. He's on the field a ton. He's had some really nice rushing days before. I think Patriots are middle of the road against running backs. So I like Devin Singletary to get 63 yards today, which seems like a modest mark in comparison to that 86, 88, and 110 rushing yard days that I just mentioned. So again, 4 picks from each side. 2 games today. Again, Raiders, Bengals, Patriots, Bills. If you are new to Underdog, you can log into the app, use that promo code P2W Fantasy for that instant deposit matchup. Again, I think you only need 2 guys, 1 guy from each team, or you can bet on all 4 or 3 of them, whatever you feel comfortable with. So good luck today with your betting, and I hope to have 2 good sets of games. Have a good weekend, guys.